in the group saying that, okay, did your eligibility get cleared? Did your security get cleared? Did your information passing happen? Did that happen? This happen? I'm like, what are you guys talking about? Because I don't know anything of this. Okay, that's that makes that actually makes the process a little faster. I can't even say that because it depends on your file, which visa office your file is going to, and several other things. So it was like it is not a good thing; it's a bad thing. But then I don't know even what to say. Like I was in such a scrambled state at that time. Now I'm sitting and laughing, but the amount of tension I took at that time, because I was like, okay, should I have hired an agent? From then, from January, I lost my sleep. I lost my appetite. That I wouldn't say, but overall, like it was too much for me to handle, which was good because from the time I came to know that there's this tracker and I started tracking my application, I got even more tense because you have more information. You have more information. You have people telling a lot of things. And then one of my friend also suggested I join a WhatsApp group, and that WhatsApp group led me to three other WhatsApp groups. I can't even tell you how tensed I was after my medical. In the sense, from January onwards until I got my PR, it was like hell for me. Okay, it can be due to any reason, like of no specific order, of no specific criteria, importance, or anything. It can be any reason why your file is delayed, and the only thing you can do is to wait. You will get the golden email. So I got my golden email on April 3rd. It is actually a golden email because you get an email saying that congratulations, you are a permanent resident of Canada. I wish I could show you. I will put a screenshot somewhere here. And it feels so good because after all this that you've been through, like from in my case from 2020 1 until 2024, whatever you've been through, that email does the magic. Okay. Hello guys, welcome to Mal's vlog. So this is part 2 of the other video which was uploaded last week. If you haven't watched the video, go watch it because this is the second half of the story. So if you're a person who only likes to watch the climax, then that this is the place to be. But if you would like to watch the journey from the beginning, then go there and watch it. I don't even what I'm even talking about because I'm shooting it on the same day and I'm trying to like connect it. I thought the video is only going to be for 15 minutes, but as usual, it went around for 28 minutes. So I was also suggesting people to watch my video in 1.5 speed so that you can watch the whole video much faster. Okay, so continuing with it. So what I was telling in my previous video is that I came to know that there's an application tracker for your PR journey. Okay, so what happened is I never knew that this particular tracker existed, which was good because from the time I came to know that there's this tracker and I started tracking my application, I got even more tense because you have more information. You have more information. You have people telling a lot of things. And then one of my friend also suggested I join a WhatsApp group, and that WhatsApp group led me to three other WhatsApp groups. I can't even tell you how tensed I was after my medical. In the sense, from January onwards until I got my PR, it was like hell for me. Okay, because I was unnecessarily overthinking and over processing things. So if you're a person who does not do that, good for you. But if you are a person who does it, I would highly suggest you stay away from all this. When the update comes on your email, go through it and respond accordingly. But if you are a person who likes to be informed like me and who likes to get worried about things, then yeah, the tracker and WhatsApp group is best for you. I don't know if there's like a standard WhatsApp group for every batch. So my batch is the ones that applied in August and who got AOR in December. So most of them who applied around the same time were in one WhatsApp group. So what happened is people started sharing so many information in the group saying that, okay, did your eligibility get cleared? Did your security get cleared? Did your information passing happen? Did that happen? This happen? I'm like, what are you guys talking about? Because I don't know anything of this. Okay, they I don't know, like whether I was in another planet all this while, or whether I was so ignorant that I didn't know any of this information. There was so much of information to process for me. So basically, what happens is once you get your AOR, the first step is that your medical gets updated, or if you have your biometrics get updated. So until October 2024, for all those people who have done their medical, I think in the last 5 years, it will get automatically updated. In my case, it didn't get updated, due to which I was tensed. If you don't know that story, go to the previous video and watch it. So we had to take our medical, but many people I know, or majority of the people I know who applied on my batch or that timeline, did not give their medical. There were very few who were handpicked, and I was that handpicked one who had to give the medical exam. So then, after giving the medical on January 3rd, I think it was by January 19th, 2024, that my medical got updated. And then I had to just wait for my biometric request letter, which didn't come at all. I don't know why. That's why I'm telling you guys, if you have not done your application yet, and if you get a chance, please pay your biometric fees much before. That is when you apply for your PR. Federal, pay off your biometric fee also at that time, because that's that makes that actually makes the process a little faster. I can't even say that because it depends on your file, which visa office your file is going to, and several other things. My friend actually paid the biometric fee with the application, but his is still not processed. Okay, and my case, where I didn't pay the biometric fee, till one point it was very slow, but from after that it picked up. Okay, so there are so many things I want to tell you guys. So, after that, what happened is they sent the biometric request letter. I think they sent the biometric request letter by Feb 1st or first week, somewhere around. I don't know the exact date. And by around Feb 7th or so, I gave my biometrics, and it got updated. Biometrics get updated on the same day. Medical takes around a week or so, and in different cases, it takes its own time. Okay. So after the biometric gets updated, you just need to wait, because there are a couple of steps. Okay, first is AOR. I'm also thinking what it is. First one is your application. You apply on federal. Then after 3 to 4 months, you get your AOR. Why I'm saying 3 to 4 months is based on my timeline. It might differ for you guys. So I applied in August, got my AOR in December. Then my additional document request came, which is also called as ADR. When people kept saying, "Did you get ADR?" in the group, I was kind of clueless what ADR is, but then realized it's additional document request, which I got. So it was like it is not a good thing; it's a bad thing. But then I don't know even what to say. Like I was in such a scrambled state at that time. Now I'm sitting and laughing, but the amount of tension I took at that time, because I was like, okay, should I have hired an agent? So after that, your medical gets updated, your biometric gets updated, whichever happens first. Based on that, biometric gets updated the same day. Then you wait. Okay, so after all these processes, what happens is there is a process where your background check happens. Okay, so there are 4 steps. Okay, one is eligibility, one is biometric, one is your medical, and then it is your background check. I think I'm not wrong. I've covered all of them. So your eligibility is basically when the officer checks your profile and then considers your profile as eligible. So they'll say that your eligibility is passed. Okay. So on the tracker, you will see that eligibility passed. So in some cases, it won't even show passed till the end. Okay. It differs from person to person. Then once your biometric gets updated, it will show that biometric is updated. Medical gets updated, it shows medical is getting updated. Last one is background check. So according to me, background check is one item. But inside background check, there are 3 items. One is security. The second one is criminality. Then third one is info sharing. Okay. All these things comes under background check. I know this is a lot of information, guys, but I feel you should know it before, because you don't need to unnecessarily get tensed about all these things. If everything is given properly, or if you've given all the documents properly, everything will just go as per process. It highly depends on your visa office. That's what I'm saying. There's so much of information I got after joining that WhatsApp group and that checking the application tracker. From then, from January, I lost my sleep. I lost my appetite, that I wouldn't say, but overall, like it was too much for me to handle. So the background check is where it takes a maximum time. Okay. So in between all this, that is in between your AOR and before your eligibility gets passed, or once your eligibility gets passed, you will get something called as a pre-arrival letter. They call it PAL. Okay. People kept asking, "Did you get PAL?" I'm like, "What the hell is PAL?" Then I understood that I got this letter long back in December itself. I got it. That means, but if you get PAL, that means that your eligibility is passed. That's what I came to know. Okay. So after that, what happens is your background check starts. So criminality is basically where. So basically, what happens is when your file is going for background check, this is basically, I think, put into a portal or like a website kind of a thing, wherein whichever country you're traveled, that's why they ask for your travel history. Whichever country you're traveled or wherever you have been, they all have to like pass information to for your file so that it can get processed. So the more countries you traveled, you feel that you did a great thing, but no, that is like we all regretted traveling to so many countries because our cases took longer. For people who had very less travel history, their cases were getting approved faster. So I had actually been to Dubai, I had been to India, and that's it. But some of my friends have been to Australia, US, they've gone to several other countries and stayed there, and due to which their case was slow. So especially if you've gone to US and all, they do a lot of scrutiny. I don't know why they do it. US itself is doing a lot of scrutiny, but they also do a lot of scrutiny. And I've heard cases where it gets a little delayed. So, um yeah, so security, criminality is wherein they check your criminal background. Have you done any crime? Have you killed anybody? Have you like done any major issues in your country or any other country, or like fraud and all those kind of things. The second one is security. Security, I think, is wherein they collect information from all these countries regarding some of the same things only. Okay, I'm not very sure about what security is. Information sharing also, it's around the same thing. Okay, but it's divided into three. I don't know why. There might be certain criteria they're looking at. So I think security comes from one department, information sharing comes from other department or multiple departments. So these three things are background check, and that takes the longest time. Many people are still waiting in my batch to get their PR because their background check is not completed. It can be due to any reason, like of no specific order, of no specific criteria, importance, or anything. It can be any reason why your file is delayed, and the only thing you can do is to wait, check the tracker, check WhatsApp groups, and also at any point of time you can call IRCC. Okay, I was under the impression, okay, what if I call IRCC and they tell me that your file is rejected? That is not the case. Sometimes they would not disclose a lot of information, they'll just say it's processing, just wait. But sometimes if you dig in deeper, if you know all these terms, like you can ask them, is my eligibility passed, is my criminality or security, or these is my background check cleared, they will give you information. You will also find this information in the tracker, but if you want more information, like in background check, you can't see inside the tracker whether these like security, eligibility, and all those kind of things, right? So you can ask them, in you can ask them if my eligibility is passed. If they're saying that's passed, you can ask, is my background in process? So if they're saying if background is in process, you can ask them, is my security in process? Is my info sharing in process? You can ask so many questions. I've asked so many questions to IRCC. I've called them like more than how many times I've called. I'm more than how I call my mother. Okay, because I was so damn tensed about why my case is not processing, and why things are not going forward. And obviously, you tend to compare when everybody's on WhatsApp group. Okay, some people say my this file came through, I got my PR card, I got that, I didn't get that. So many things, and you tend to compare with all these people, and you're like, okay, why is mine not processing? Then you tend to doubt the kind of documentation you did. Since you did it alone, you're still tense. Okay, what might happen? How things might process. So after all this, I was like, I think I called a day before to IRCC, and they told me background is still in process, nothing is happening, blah blah, all those kinds. So one more thing you need to check is which is your visa office. So there's a primary visa office, there's a secondary visa office. In my case, my primary visa office was Ottawa, and my secondary visa office was Sydney. Okay, so was it Ottawa and Sydney? Yeah, I think it was Ottawa and Sydney. Yeah, yeah, the one way or the other. Okay. So some people told they are very slow in processing. Whoever gets Winnipeg, they say that they are very slow in processing. Some people say Montreal is slow in processing. There are several opinions. So in my case, it was Ottawa and Sydney. And my processing office after I got my Portal 1 request was Montreal, which I thought is going to be very slow, but they turned out to be quite fast. So to actually, I think on uh, March mid around mid 7th, I think again March 7th, I got my P1. Okay, again that is another set of information, or I don't know whether it was just me or it is just me that I don't know so many things, but people started saying, "Did you get P1? Did you get P2? Did you get that? Did you get this?" And I'm like, "What?" Again, like what is this? Then I understood that once you actually when you keep checking your GC key, that is your CIC portal, you will keep getting right once everything is updated. One fine day, when you log into your GC key portal, you will see that final decision made. Okay, so when one fine day I had absolutely no hope, but I'm like, okay, fine, let me just check it. And I logged in and checked, and I saw at the end of it saying that the final decision was made on so and so date. Okay, I think it was 27th, no, 7th, 8th, 7th or 8th of March. Okay, so the next thing you need to go and do is go to your application tracker and check if it has generated a COPR number. So once you see that your COPR number is there, that means you will get your Portal 1 request soon. So what is Portal 1? Portal 1 is nothing but an email that will come to your email ID saying that, this is your request to give these information to process your permanent residency, and they will ask for your name, your UCI number, your date of birth, your place of birth, your height, your eye color, your address, your passport number, and things like that, for you and your spouse. So it depends on how you've applied. In my case, everything was done through my email ID. So I just had to respond to that email with both our information, one below the other, to that particular email. So what you can do is you can just send a reply to that particular email. They'll attach a PDF, so you can check what all they're asking for. Read through the PDF in detail, and then just reply to the email that came. Okay, you don't have to send a separate email to anybody. Just reply to the Portal 1 email with all these information in the format mentioned in the PDF. Once you do that and you send the email, then you need to wait. So the next thing what will happen is you will get your Portal 2 request. So Portal 2 is kind of like wherein they are going to ask for your photo, and also for what else did they ask? Yeah, also whether you're residing in Canada. So the thing is, only if you're residing within Canada, you can actually get your PR card. So this is like the uh, second last step of the PR process. So what will happen is after you reply to that Portal 1 request email, you will wait. It depends. For me, it took some time. I think my Portal 2 request came by March 19th, after March 7th. Some people got the next day, some people got after 1 week, some people got after 3-4 days. Mine came after like almost like 10 20 days. I don't know. Calculations back. March 7th, I got that. March 19th, I got the other one. Yeah, around that much time. So, March 19th, when I got it, all that you need to do is you can opt. You can just go to a studio where you take the PR. You need to tell them it's for the PR card. Take the photo and update it on this. So basically, they will send you a link to create a PR profile on the PR portal. Okay, so if you already did your application through the your federal application through the PR portal, you just need to link your application into that. Okay, so when this particular email comes, you click on it and you'll just type enter your login details, and then you will see this particular link inside that portal saying that your PR confirmation thing is happening. So in that portal, you need to update your photo and also give your address, and what do you say? You need to confirm whether you are within Canada, and then give your address wherever you are. So once that happens, they will check your photo quality. They'll tell the brightness is high, the pixel is that, this and all. Adjust all that. You can itself edit. You don't need to go back to the studio. Just take it to an online editor and try editing it and re-uploading it. You might have to do it couple of times, but once you do that, and there's no errors coming in, you submit. Okay. Once you submit, you just need to wait for some more time. They will actually review. Okay, first thing they'll do is they will check your declaration whether you're within Canada, and then they will check the quality of the photo, and then you will get the golden email. So I got my golden email on April 3rd. It is actually a golden email because you get an email saying that congratulations, you are a permanent resident of Canada. I wish I could show you. I will put a screenshot somewhere here. And it feels so good because after all this that you've been through, like from in my case from 2020 1 until 2024, whatever you've been through, that email does the magic. Okay, it then after that you'll be like, okay, what will I do now? Like, in a sense, I don't have anything much to do because this has come through, because all this while you've been struggling for that, right? Finally you will get that, and then what you can do is you will get a downloadable ECOPR, okay, from this PR portal. So all that you need to do is again log into the PR portal. Once you get the email, log into the PR portal, you will get a download version of the ECOPR. So what you can do is you can use this ECOPR as a confirmation itself. There's no issues, like you can use it wherever. But what I would suggest is, take the details, like go to your GC key now. The PR portal thing is over now. Go to your GC key. I think put your name and no, your UCI and your date of birth or your place of birth. If that option is there, click on that and link your ECOPR details to your PR portal, not sorry, GC key. I told you, no, it's confusing. So with this ECOPR details, exact details, you need to update or link this particular application. So below your GC key where all your application are listed, you'll see link application. Link this particular one with your UCI and place of birth. Okay, put exactly what's there in the ECOPR, and then this will get linked, and then you will get to check if your card was emailed out or not, mailed out or not. If you don't want to do it, you can just wait. There's nothing great about checking the status of that, but it's always good to know, because what if it's stuck, right? So you put the details in that, and then you will get the link. You'll keep getting updates that the application is linked. That there also there's like a final decision. They will send you a ghost update and things like that. So finally, I got an update saying that your PR card has been mailed out. I wish I could show you. It's there in my bag. And in some cases, people were having a lot of delay in getting this card mailed out. Thankfully, in my case, it came through within like less than 10 days. And finally, I'm a permanent resident of Canada. This has been my journey, guys. This has been my journey. I have no words. Whoever goes through this process, I have so much of respect for them, especially for those people who came as a student and did the whole thing. Even for people who are coming from India, they have their own struggle, but I can talk from my point of view because it is not an easy journey. And whoever, if you see students struggling, not able to get a job, or they're struggling, help them, because it is not an easy journey for them. For people who get the PR and come here, it's a different story. It would have been a journey for you guys, but it is a little more smoother, I would say. So I don't know, I'll have a lot of respect for these people who has come through this journey. I respect myself also now, because it was a task by itself, and we have come all this while, and finally when you get that card in hand, and then you feel so good about it. If you were a person who dreamed about it, if you're a person who really wanted that to happen, you will feel absolutely thrilled and in cloud whichever cloud, not even 9 above that. So yeah, guys, that's my journey. I hope you understood the overall process. The video was a drag. I understand it's 30 minutes of that and 22 minutes or 25 minutes of this. It's like too long. But I wanted you guys to get an overall process. So student stream, any kind of non-express entry federal, no, I'm sorry, non-express entry PNP profile will go through all these processes. So this is not specific to Saskatchewan. Obviously, until the nomination part, it is specific to Saskatchewan, but after that, it's called as a non-express entry federal skilled, non-express entry program. So it's unlike the express entry program, and it's a little different. So express entry is much faster. This is much slower. So a lot of differences on that. So after this video, you will see a lot of specific videos on specific topics regarding SINP or SINP process or the like subsegments of this video. So I hope you like the video. If you like the video, like, share, and subscribe. Share it with your friends who is going through this process so that they are well informed. They make informed decisions and don't go for things. If you like the video, like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon. Subscribe to my channel, guys, because I'm giving you so much of information. I hope it's valuable. And if it's valuable, I think you should subscribe. Don't you think so? So that's all, guys. I am going ahead and going to pick up Prashant. He is almost done with the work. The climate is really good. I am enjoying it. More of outdoor videos from now on. So that's it.